Roll call, please.
Dr. Cordellino?
Here.
Mrs. Fano?
Here.
Mr. Palma?
Here.
Mr. Petrosino?
Here.
Mr. Rappaport?
Here.
Mrs. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Here.
Mr. Daughtry?
Here.
Dr. Modrak?
Here.
Ms. Ammer? Mr. Blumenthal?
Here. Okay. Pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open public meetings notice, please.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Montville Township Board of Education provided a public notice of this meeting, including the time, date, and location, that was posted at the Montville Township Municipal Building, all Montville Public Schools, the Montville Public Library, the Montville Township Board of Education Administrative Office Building, the district website, and advertised in the Daily Record and the Montville Tap Into, the board's official newspapers, on August 13th, 2025.
Okay, thank you. We have two new student reps tonight, Jenna Ammer and Aiden Blumenthal. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves real quick.
I'm Jenna Ammer. I'm the Student Activities Council President at Montville High School. I play soccer and I play lacrosse, and I'm really excited for the end of our senior year.
My name's Aiden Blumenthal. I'm the Student Council President. I play tennis for the school, and I can't wait for all the senior activities we have planned.
Good. They're a lot of fun. But while you have your mic on, you want to give us a report?
Yes. So in the past on Montville Township, on Wednesday, August 27th, the MTHS school year started. Girls tennis had their season opener and beat Mountain Lakes 4-1. On Thursday, August 28th, varsity football had their season home opener and they won 38-22 against Sparta. On Thursday, September 4th, boys soccer had their season opener and they won 2-0 over Morristown. They had another game on the 6th, but they lost against Wayne Hills, 1-0. In present times, Montville Theater Company have announced the fall play Romeo and Juliet and the spring musical Sweeney Todd. Gracie's Army is set to sell gold shirts during lunch for the upcoming Gold Out football game. The seniors will have their senior sunrise this Friday at 6 a.m. in the football stadium. And the first pep rally of the MTHS 2025-2026 school year is being held on September 15th to the 19th. During Spirit Week this week, Monday was USA Day, where students wore USA colors, wearing red, white, and blue to show their pride. Tuesday, today, was Twin Day, where students would match with a friend or family or a teacher. Wednesday is going to be PJ Day. Thursday is going to be White Lie Day, where students will wear a white lie on a white shirt. And Friday is Color Wars Day, which is the pep rally day. Freshmen are set to wear yellow, sophomores are set to wear green, juniors will wear white, and seniors will wear black.
For fall athletics, Montville football currently has a record of 2-1, losing their most recent game against Chatham on Saturday, 30-18. Girls tennis is 4-3 after losing their last match against Mendham. Girls volleyball is 0-6 after losing against Randolph. Girls field hockey has a record of 1-2 with a game today against Chatham. Girls soccer are leading their conference currently with a record of 3-0, winning their last game against Mendham. Boys soccer has a record of 4-2, winning their last game against Westmore Central 2-0 on their senior night. And for the future, back to school night and the club fair will be held Thursday, September 18th. Students will be able to browse through clubs and different activities during lunch, and then the club fair will also be held 30 minutes before back to school night, which starts at 7 p.m. Ambassadors from the Student Council, Key Club, NHS, and PAL will be assisting parents by navigating them through the school. Senior portraits retakes have been announced on Google Classroom for October 15th and 16th. Information to make an appointment is also on Google Classroom. And October 4th will be MTHS is hosting the SAT, and they have 2 other dates, March 14th and May 2nd this year.
Thank you so much.
Jenna, do you have a fun fact you want to tell us about? Family fun fact?
I wasn't going to say it.
I am the 5th SAC president out of my family. I'm the youngest of 5, and each one of us have been an SAC president. So,
Congratulations.
thank you.
A lot of pressure this year.
Had to
get out,
finish
right?
the lineage.
Yeah, there you go. It's a great way to end.
Okay, superintendent report.
Sure. So we're in our 3rd week of school. We have 3,400 students, 600 faculty and staff, and approximately 4,500 parents with many, many moving parts. We had about 33 new teachers this year and more staff beyond that. So we had an excellent first 2.5 weeks of school so far. Students have been engaged. Have been in all the schools and in many classrooms, seeing the kids, at their early ages, learning. I just saw a class today. They were making apples, and they were all on, cutting out things and putting them together, and they were putting all the things that, apples, apple cider, apple pie, apple donuts, things like that. So it was really cool. And at the high school level, you're seeing much more advanced stuff going on. So it's just great to see the kids engaged right from the beginning. Back to school nights at the elementary schools and middle school were last week. We had a great parent turnout, a lot of positive interaction between the parents and teachers, and that went over very well. This Thursday is the high school back to school night, so that'll end our back to school nights for everything, and then we'll be getting right into the season of all the other evening events. This Friday, September 19th, we have an early dismissal for all the schools. We have on September 23rd, Rosh Hashanah. We'll be observing that. The district will be closed. And that is also the homework-free break. So if you look at our calendar, you'll see all the homework-free breaks that we have on there. Typically, they're around the religious holidays that we observe, as well as the different weeks that we take off for winter recess, spring recess, and so on. So those are the times when teachers are not giving assignments, kids are able to disengage from school, have a little bit of mental break, and engage more in family activities. Montville Day is on October 12th from 1 to 6. We'll be hosting a table as we've done in the past. So everybody's invited, including board members, everything. And we'll have little prizes and gifts for kids that come there. They'll be engaging with some of our high school students with different puzzles and activities for them as we engage with the parents. We did have, typically the first week of school, again, a lot of moving parts. So we did have our typical bus route issues. I sent out a letter to the community. We were able to work them out after the first couple of days. There's a computer glitch with our Finder is the name of the software company that we work with. And what was happening was, as we were correcting the routes and the times for the routes, when the database was syncing up at night with our database, it was overriding the changes we made during the day. So it took us a couple of days to figure this out, and the company worked with us. So we were able to work a lot of things out, and we're going to have a much smoother beginning of school next year. But if there are still some route problems with times, please let us know, and we'll get to that to the right people, and we'll correct that. We also had some issues on one of our routes that we addressed, some behavior issues, and we took the appropriate safety measures to address that, move forward, and so far the past couple of days, things have been working, so we're pleased with that, but we'll be constantly monitoring that as the school year continues. Each year for the past 8 years, we do a one book, one school. This is a very successful program. We've seen an increase in reading with our students. We could tell with our English teachers at all the levels, at the middle school and high school level, I should say. And we see that with the number of books that are being taken out of the library, the engagement by our students. This year at the middle school, they read a book called Restart, and at the high school, they read Inheritance Games. Both books were really liked by our students, and they've had engaging classroom discussions about that. The high school has formed a committee about cell phones, and that committee has been made up of students, teachers, administrators, and parents. So that committee is then going to create surveys. They'll be sending that out to the whole community. So all parents from grades K through 12 will be participating in that survey. And this is about, how far do we want to create the cell phone ban? Right now, students have cell phones. We have cell phone caddies in the classrooms, and if teachers need them, students are allowed to engage with their phones in an instructional way. And if teachers say, no, you don't need them, they have to put them away in their backpacks, so they can put them away in the cell phone caddies. But the committee is going to be looking into this, doing research, talking to a lot of different people to find out how far do we need to go with the cell phone ban. We should have results probably December, maybe even January, with recommendations that we'll be making to the Board of Education. Also on tonight's agenda is a calendar for the 26-27 school year. We had a calendar committee that looked at this. One change was made from the proposed calendar that was made in June, and that is to move the half day to the half day before Labor Day. So that's what's before us. There are copies on the back table there if people want to look at that. So if we move that, we will still keep the let's see, the dismissal day will be moved for September. So anyway, there was a quick change. So we'll still be closed on September 7th, which is Labor Day, and the 21st for the Jewish holiday. And I attended the 9/11 ceremony. That was great. We had 3 of our students sing and play taps at that ceremony. Beautiful, it was a beautiful, moving ceremony. We had students from Lazar come as part of the history class with Mr. Crescente, and it was just great to see the whole community come together and recognize the fallen on that day. That's my report.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions about the report? Are there any questions about the report? No. Okay, in that case, we'll move on to presentations. Dr. Schwartz?
So we have Dr. Schwartz coming up here, and she's going to be presenting about the business, science, and the math departments. And she's just here to give us a highlight of what's been going on in the district and all the great things that are going on this year.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Sandy, you need the mic for the, I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandy Schwartz, like I said, the math, business, and science supervisor for the district. So I'd like to start by introducing my staff and my team. So at Lazar, we have 4 new folks, Mansi Patel, Casey Cahill, Lauren Donahue, Megan Katalanzadi, and Deepika Ganesh Babu. So they're off to a wonderful start. In the high school, we're welcoming back Donna DeMarco, who moved from Lazar back to the high school. And for the science department, we have Jim Queen, who came out of retirement. Everybody was extremely happy to have him back on our team. And we have 2 other new people, Luella Selby and Naveen Gobriel. So next, I'd like to just kind of recap some of the things that we were working on last year and celebrate some of our achievements. First, I'm going to brag a little bit about our AP scores. We have 4 classes that had 100% passing rate. Overall, we definitely excelled in New Jersey, excel from the New Jersey rate. So the teachers and the students did an amazing job. NJSLA, again, compared to the percent passing in New Jersey, our students were amazing. Looking at our scores, we certainly have work to do, but we definitely are in great shape and something to be proud of. As many of you know, over the course of the past few years, we've been trying to grow our G&T program. So I can proudly say that we now have 9 students that are in the elementary schools taking 6th grade math. Our back to school night is Thursday for them before the high school back to school night. One of our largest groups, we have 11 students in 8th grade that are taking geometry honors. And we have 6 kids in multivariable calc. If you're not familiar with multivariable calc, that's a course that comes after AP Calc AB and or AP Calc BC. We also expanded our science symposium. We made it a huge night. It was a huge success. The classes that were involved in this were biotechnology, research and molecular biology, and the science research class. We had an event in the cafeteria, an event in the media center, and around the rotunda. The biotech kids did demonstrations and had many demos that the kids and the parents could try out, pipettes and things like that. Also more bragging rights. This is our 3rd year in biotechnology. When we first started in 23, we were the first school in New Jersey. 100% of the kids passed. Our enrollment grew to 15 last year. Again, 100% of the kids passed. And now I can proudly say we doubled. We now have 22 kids in the class, hopefully with the same passing rate. 4 of our students were given the opportunity to present at the Rutgers University Wakeman Student Scholar Program, and all of our Resmall kids were published. I find this cool, hopefully you guys do as well. We're given the opportunity to go to the Rutgers Cadaver Lab, so all of the anatomy and physiology kids can attend this trip. They work with gross anatomy professors and our Montville anatomy Montville teachers. So amazing experience for kids. Our international business firm practices class is growing. This year we have 2 sections, and last year we also had 2 sections. And the kids qualified to present at the Youth Business Summit in New York City, which was a big honor for us. The forensics class, when I first started, this was a half-year elective class. We actually transformed it into be a lab science class, and since then enrollment has grown to 4 sections. It's a very, very popular class, and the kids do amazing things in there. At Lazar, we're trying to incorporate more engineering and STEAM type activities. So depending on the unit or the month, we are giving the kids different design challenges. So to kick off the year, we started with 6th grade and we did a little spaghetti tower. Okay. We also have a lot of clubs and extracurricular activities that relate to math, science, and business. The STEAM Club from Lazar hosts a day during the STEAM week that has an academic focus, so we're going to continue to work on that and grow that. Lazar and the high school both have a math counts club that's actively growing. The one little girl in the picture, this was a Pi Day celebration, actually was able to do 2 hula hoops. So we were all amazed. We have the AMC competition in the high school. Last year, we grew to 51 kids taking the assessment, which is almost a 60% increase from previous years. And in the high school, we grew to about 40 students that were competing. Okay. The first image of the ladies, they placed 7th in the FBLA National Leadership Conference in Anaheim. This is a relatively, this is a big accomplishment. It's a relatively new accomplishment for us. We haven't placed in past years. We also had a student, this was affiliated through the computer club. He was the first student from Montville High School that attended and passed the IAC Cyber Academy. Another relatively new club that we're offered at the high school is HOSA. This year, or last year, 4 students competed in the international conference in Nashville. Their topic was on sedentary lifestyles and the effects on the body. We have also a relatively new club, Women in Science Club, that's dedicated to expose females to various careers and paths, and also act as a supportive group for them to collaborate and work together. Another relatively new club, a microscope club. The kiddos in there are trying to get published. They have a Google presentation of all of their findings, and they want to put together a book. So this year we have to look into that. Science Olympiad in both the middle school and the high school continue to grow. We continue to do well in both of those areas and clubs. And because I was only limited to 5 or 10 minutes, this is my last slide, but I would like to take the opportunity to publicly thank my teachers. They're amazing in what they do, and they inspire me every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. You don't get off that easy. No. So it's just incredible the work that's being done by the teachers and the advisors. And obviously there's a need for women in science, and we're fulfilling that. I mean, number of certificates that they're getting real world experiences. They're getting certifications. They're trying to get published, and they're getting, they're speaking in front of experts in the field down at Rutgers and in other areas. Also, you'd want to just talk about the 5th and 6th grade, right? They're getting a little bit more exposure to math and science. Yeah, with the mic though. Sorry.
So we started. This has really been a journey of finding the system that works best. So what we do over the summer is we identify kids that are already gifted and talented, but are excelling in math. And this year, again, there's 9 of them. They are exposed to Danielle Barkey's 6th grade math class with an asynchronous learning style. So she pre-records lessons, and the kids listen and do the lessons while they're sitting in their 5th grade math class. And then on Wednesdays after school, they have an optional virtual in-person meet to get extra help, to work together, and to just kind of act as a group. We also do a little family night, back to school night. So the parents get to know each other, get to know Miss Barkey, the kids get to know each other and Miss Barkey. And at the end of the year, we do a little promotion for them where we visit each of the schools. We give them some kind of Lazard gear and say, welcome to 7th grade math.
Incredible stuff. And then at the 4th and 5th grade level, we're also now segregating and getting kids a little bit more teachers that are specializing in those subjects, math and science, and they're getting a lot more concrete experiences to prepare them for the middle school and the high school. Anybody else? Anything?
I just want to say it's amazing. I really love what you've done with the science program. The Science Symposium is outstanding. Every year I go there, I don't have enough time to visit all the presentations, but it's really impressive, and everything else you've been doing. The kid, like Dr. Gorman said, the kids are getting real-world experience, and I can tell you, having had a lab, I would value someone coming from Montville with some of those experiences. So, thank you.
Dave, I also like to say, I don't remember getting a beautiful presentation like that where you have all the different grades, all the different programs, and I really appreciate it that you presenting that to us because it's just incredible, state of the art, all new things that are coming up, and I'm sure the value that the students and the parents are experiencing, plus the teachers, are phenomenal.
To be honest, I think this was just a really fun way to start the year. I had this date, on my calendar, and I had emailed my guys and said, hey, do you have some pics? Like, I'm going to do this fun presentation. And as I started pulling this stuff together, it really made me proud at how much they did. And then the more that I thought about it, the more I thought of the things that we did. So I'm actually showing them this presentation at our department meetings because they really are amazing.
Yeah, so you're going to be seeing other supervisors do similar presentations. I asked Sandy, and she jumped at it, and she asked for the first slot, so you can see the enthusiasm. But she's the biggest bragger of her departments out
good
there.
way.
She's
In a good
very positive, and she's so excited about all the wonderful work the students as well as the teachers are doing. And you can see how the programs are growing, and it's only going to continue to grow in the future.
Mike?
So I like everyone else said, just having these opportunities for the kids is amazing. Like the anatomy, going to Rutgers, the biotechnology program you brought in. Certainly, if there's other programs out there that can be brought in to give everyone an opportunity in their area of interest to pursue something very unique, I think it's a great ideas. And great experience, and I certainly would encourage more of these types of programs to be available to the students if they're available.
We're hoping to introduce, AP College Board is introducing 2 new business classes that are going to be released next year. So part of October 13th, the business teachers and I are going to be exploring those options.
I do have one question, though.
Sure.
We may have been spoiled a little bit because when Dr. Shorter gives his presentation, our school is always well above the average for New Jersey. And for most of the AP exams, we were above the average of New Jersey, except for the 2 physics AP courses.
Yes.
Is there something adjustment needed to the curriculum, or is it just an off year? What's happened in past years?
So historically, we've done very well in physics. Last year was kind of a hiccup, but we do have Jim Queen coming back and teaching physics for us. So I anticipate the numbers to be back where they belong at the 100%.
Excellent. Anybody else?
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any other presentations? Okay, with no other presentations, the business administrator's report.
No report.
No report?
No report.
No. Next month. Okay. Then let's go ahead and get to delegates and liaisons. Section G, facilities and finance. Karen?
Thank you. Before we actually sat down for the facilities and finance meeting, myself and David took the administration up on their invitation, the administration being Katine Slunt and Dr. Gorman, to visit some of the projects that are ongoing or completed at William Mason, Woodmont, Hilldale, and the high school. And it was very instructive and gave the board a good feel about the various stages of projects that have gone on during the summer. So thank you for taking the time and doing that. At the committee meeting, we touched on things like federal and state aid. We talked a little bit about projected savings and overages from expenditures, things like salaries and benefits, transportation and other. And within transportation, some really good news thanks to Mrs. Slunt and her business office. As some of you may have noticed, parked in the board office parking lot, there are some smaller yellow buses with Montville Township on them. So we've now acquired, I believe it's 4 yellow buses that are being used for various routes, some special ed routes, some athletic events, and the buses are projected to save us approximately $250,000 in this year alone. So thank you for thinking out of the box. That's really about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Michelle, curriculum.
Yes, we had a meeting on September 9th, and it was a very productive, interesting meeting. A couple of things that I really do want to share. Ms. Woodring had brought to us last year her interest in bringing action-based learning, ABL, to the district. Really, it was born out of current research that's indicating that prolonged sitting, averaging 20 to 30 minutes for young learners, is developmentally inappropriate. It could hinder physical, cognitive, and emotional development. And there's all sorts of neuroscience studies that confirm a strong brain movement connection with the physical activity. And this program actually is a whole model that integrates movement into core subjects for our young learners. Things like phonics, reading, science, and math, but without altering the curriculum standards. So it's really been something that she's been interested in developing. Ms. Woodring and Ms. Cirilli Levine attended a 3-day ABL summit in Vermont, professional development with master trainers, really learned about it, and that really leads us to where it's been actually implemented now in some of our schools. So there's new special education programs in K and 1 in the in-class resource and resource rooms at Haledale and William Mason, and those programs. The first one is a kindergarten resource classroom, and there's a first grade one as well. Any student who requires in-class resource in grade K or 1 is now attending Hilldale School. There's transportation being provided for the students, and the new program is the emotional regulation impairment classroom that's located at William Mason. And they've both been equipped with the ABL furniture and tools, and so it's a combination of bringing that ABL to the school and also rethinking the way we're handling our youngest students when it comes to the in-class resources. And it's so far been met very well by the parents, by the teachers, and we're really interested in getting additional updates on how that continues to go. We also talked about the changes to the elementary schedule this year that were based on feedback last year, and overall the changes have been met with positivity, and they're going to continue to monitor, the administration is going to continue to monitor the changes through the year for staff and student impact. We talked about how Google replaced Schoology as the district learning management system. There's been professional development for the teachers. And so they're using it more in the middle school and elementary school, middle school and high school, but the technology department's also working on the rollout of a parent-teacher engagement app that's going to allow for better communication between the school district and families. So they're working on that. We're also going through QSAC review, as we do every 3 years. And so, as always, Ms. Woodring is on top of all of the requirements and making sure our curriculum is in line and getting us prepared to, I'm sure, do well, as we always do with that. We also talked about many curriculum updates and addition of pacing guides to some of the curriculum to help the teachers with those tools. And that was it. It was an overall great discussion. I really just want to say it is so heartening when we attend these curriculum meetings and really talk about in depth to see at that level what the district is doing, how imaginative they are, how much they care about our students. You do a great job, Andrea, and we're really lucky to have the level that we do in our administration and the teachers making this all work for us. So.
The ABL rooms are fun.
Yeah.
We got to see one. Yeah. We didn't take any pictures, though. That was good. Okay, policy, John?
We haven't formally met since the last meeting, but we were sent out the drafts for the ban on noisemakers at events and for virtual attendance. Essentially, summarizing those, we're banning noisemakers at events, and we're limiting virtual attendance to 3 meetings per month. That's what's drafted and is being read tonight, and it will be up for discussion later, along with the other Strauss, Esme.
3 a year, you mean?
I moved to 2. It's 2.
Oh, it's 2.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Then it did get changed.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, communications, Joe?
We haven't had a meeting. Nothing scheduled for now.
Okay, Christine, safety?
No report.
Okay, Karen, delegate liaison, New Jersey School Boards.
Thank you. It was a slow summer, just a few meetings on August 12th. The nominating committee reconvened to begin their work on a vacancy in the position of VP of Legislation. In fact, this Saturday on the 20th, the committee will be interviewing a number of candidates and making a recommendation for their appointment at the Delegate Assembly in November. I attended the September 13th County Association Leadership Meeting. It was very informative, and it was nice to reconnect with people from other counties and districts. This Friday, there will be the Executive Committee meeting and Board of Directors meeting. These will be conducted virtually. And on the 26th will be a Legislative Committee meeting, and on the 27th, there'll be a virtual meeting of the ELF-NJ. ELF-NJ is the fundraising arm of New Jersey school boards.
Okay, thank you. Morris County School Board, Mike.
Yes, our first meeting of the school year is on October 7th, that's a Tuesday, in Booton. And just to note, that does conflict with our Board of Ed meeting that day.
Okay. One question for you. Actually, not for you and Joe. Joe, you're on the Morris County School Board?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, but you're our liaison.
Yes.
So that seems like it's redundant. I might suggest to the both of you that in order to relieve some of the liaison duties from Joe, you might go ahead and give up your liaison duties so that Joe could then be the liaison to the Morris County School Board, and maybe you could pick up one of his. It's up to you guys if you guys want to switch or not. If you do, just let me know and what you want to do. But otherwise,
We'll
you got
talk.
two.
We'll discuss. I
Otherwise,
mean,
you got two people there.
Which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing to have
It's
more
good to
people
have
there.
all board members attend these county
Yeah.
association meetings.
Okay. I'm just offering it to you guys in case you want to lighten the load. Okay, Joe.
I'll just jump in a little bit.
Yeah.
Joe is a member of the Board of Directors of the Morris County School Board Association. He was elected to that position.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Mike is our liaison. So while the liaison position could change, Joe is the director for a term.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not redundant, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well,
And
you're
in
the New
fact-
Jersey School Board liaison
I'll
and
also-
president, and so that's why I was just offering it to them. They don't have to take it. It was just a suggestion. But you guys talk about it, let me know, but we'll move on in the meantime. So, Joe, why don't we go to Morris County Educational Services?
We had a meeting on September 10th. Standard business. This first day of school, the Central Park School opened with 14 students. They finalized bus routes for all the public, private, academy, and special education routes, and all staffing is completed.
Okay, and then drug awareness?
We had a meeting on September 9th. They discussed having a table at the upcoming Montville Day, which will handle informational materials to the community, as well as participating in the trunk or treat activity the Recreation Department holds in October.
Great. Okay, John, athletic boosters?
No report.
Okay, back to you, Karen, liaison Cedar Hill.
I have no report since it was the summer, but I believe their first meeting may conflict with a board meeting, so
Okay.
I'll have to figure that out.
Okay. Well, I don't expect a lot of reports right now, but thought I'd still go through them. Hilldale, Christine.
So they will be having their first meeting on Thursday, October 16th, and it will be in person.
Okay. And Caitlin, Valley View?
Valley View is ahead of the game. They had their first meeting yesterday, and it was in person so they could vote on their budget. Couple great things coming up is their book fair and harvest festival, and they have also adopted a shelf at the Montville Food Pantry where they're donating at least 100 boxes of cereal, and they also donated a shelf of juice there, and they're going to look to continue donating throughout the year. They'll take a break to do their food drive for the Interfaith Food Pantry in November, which is through Mr. Larkin and Mrs. Ferranda, which they do every year, and then they'll go back to the food pantry in town. They are starting their fall enrichment, and this year they did not have to outsource to any company because they were able to fill all enrichment sessions with teachers in the building. So that was a win for everyone. They have a Mega Man Friendship and Bullying Assembly coming up in October. And what I thought was really cool was the speaker that the district brought in, Mrs. Peters, during the back to school days, really left a mark on the teachers at Valley View. She talked about walnut trees and marigolds and how the farmers know walnut trees ruin the soil, so they never plant those, whereas marigolds nourish the soil, so in between every row of crops, they plant a row of marigolds to help everyone flourish and grow. And so they have been sporting marigold pins, and somebody, and they still haven't figured out who, but somebody in the school has been going around and leaving marigolds on teachers' desks.
Very nice.
So.
Now, real quick question. Aren't you an officer of the PTC?
Not anymore.
Not
I've
anymore?
graduated.
Oh, you graduated. Okay. Okay, just checking on that one.
Yeah, that was Dr. Peters. She was brought in for our convocation, kicking off the school year with everybody. She did a whole talk about empathy and, working on yourselves as well as, nourishing yourself to be able to nourish others. So it was very greatly received by everybody.
Wonderful. William Mason, John.
Yes, I'd like to promote the Family Pickleball Night on Thursday, September 25th, $40 or $45 per player, 6 to 8, and it'll go to the 5th grade committee and other HSA events. Thank you.
Okay. Not on the new pickleball courts, though.
No, at Lake Valhalla Club.
Okay. Okay, Mike Palma, Woodmont.
To my knowledge, nothing's been scheduled yet.
Okay. Michelle Lazar.
They had a virtual Q&A for parents to ask questions about the PTC on September 8th, and their first in-person meeting will be October 27th.
Okay. Mike Rapport, high school, anything?
Yes, the first meeting was last Monday, the 8th.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I'll skip all the stuff that the high school reps have already covered. But Dana Heitman was introduced to the PTC and everyone else who was in attendance as the interim assistant principal. So it was nice to see her. It was virtual, so it was nice to see her at least on the Zoom call. A couple of things that weren't mentioned previously. The PSAT testing is October 22nd. And there's a change to how the National Honor Society is handling its dates. They're going to have October 29th as an induction date for both juniors and seniors, and they're not going to have one in the spring. It still gives opportunities, 2 opportunities for juniors and seniors to be inducted, but they're moving the junior date up, so it's on the same day as the fall one that was previously. Also, the PTC is looking for a couple of new board members. If anyone is interested, they just need to reach out to Rachel Davis.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And the next meeting is November 3rd.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your reports. Let's move to the next section of public participation. This is an opportunity for the public to comment on anything that's on the agenda. We will have another session toward the end, which you can comment on anything you want. But for right now, we like to stick to just the agenda items. And if you would like to speak, come to the podium, give us your name, address, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes. Does anybody wish to come speak on items on the agenda?
Is this on?
Yeah. Is it on?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Nadia Qureshi, 33 Crescent Road, Pine Brook.
Okay.
I am here because I am looking at the proposed 2026-2027 calendar, and I am disheartened that Eid al-Adha, which we've spoken about a couple of years ago, is not included in the calendar. I do appreciate that you guys are continuing to include Eid al-Fitr, but just to note that Eid al-Adha is going to be during the school year moving forward, because it goes 10 days back every year. So just to note, my kids missed a field trip, talent show, and they had some kind of a thing in Woodmont for Mrs. Raj, who was going on leave, and all of that had to be missed because it was Eid al-Adha. And so it just proves that we do need it recognized on the calendar, so these significant events are not happening where our kids are missing it. On the other side, my neighbor's kids missed celebrating Eid al-Adha because they wanted to go to the field trip and they wanted to do the ice cream social, et cetera, et cetera. But they shouldn't have to make that choice. So I would ask you to amend this and include Eid al-Adha in the calendar, which for 26-27 will be observed on May 17th. I'm going to go ahead and let my friend Umbreen here pitch to you a little bit, but okay. Zachariah is a student at, where are you at? At Lazar. So he will speak a little bit as.
What? I know. He's allowed to come speak on his behalf.
Yeah.
Can you just have the microphone, give us your name and address?
Thank you.
My name is Zachariah Ali. I live at 134 Ridge Drive. Okay. Good evening. My name is Zachariah Ali. I'm an 8th grader in Lazar Middle School. I first want to thank the Board of Education for previously giving us Eid al-Fitr off. I want to request that our district also gives the students a day off for Eid al-Adha. Muslims have two major holidays, Eid al-Fitr, which is already off, and Eid al-Adha, which is just as important. Both come after a very important event in the Islamic faith. Eid al-Fitr is after Ramadan, a holy month in our calendar, and Eid al-Adha is after Hajj, the holy pilgrimage to Mecca. Last year, the 8th grade field trip was scheduled on Eid al-Adha, and Muslim students had to choose between celebrating with their families or going on the trip. Similarly, in coming years, finals in high school and 8th grade will fall around Eid al-Adha, causing students to have to pick between their school commitment or spending a holiday with friends or family. No one should have to pick between their faith and being part of the school's activities and academics. Giving us this day off would show a very diverse Montville community about the Islamic faith so all can celebrate these two very holy days. Thank you for listening, and please consider our request.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hi. Okay.
Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My name is Amber. I live at 5 Darrell Court, and I know some of you are tired of seeing me, but also I can say that almost a decade of writing letters and fighting for having Eid off, I think we need to go to the very beginning now and understand that the community has changed. When I moved here almost 20 years ago, it was different, and now it's different. So with the growing Muslim population, which, I wish there was a way to find out, but you guys know better. But with the growing Muslim population, I think that there's a desire and a need now. So it's beyond the desire. It's actually a need to have the holidays off. It is just as important as we say Christmas and Easter for the Christians, as we say Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur for our Jewish neighbors. So we want you to understand how important it is. At the same token, I do understand what we've discussed in the past with not everyone being able to have all these holidays off. But with New Jersey having many districts now recognizing both holidays, where there's a will, there's a way. There is a way with all those preset guidelines. And not taking away anybody's holidays that are already present. At the same time, not having to start school earlier either, because I see that in the year there are times. And I guess there's a calendar committee. So we would definitely be, if there's anything you can take from us or we can help out with, we're definitely willing to do that, and even with other districts of how they've done it. But again, not taking away the holidays, not starting school early, but there's still ways of doing it, whether that be through snow days or whether that, you guys know better, whether half days for certain things that are like teachers' convention stuff and all that. The other thing is that when we had, like for instance, last year, we had Memorial Day, and then we extended a day out. I mean, we could have used that day on Eid off where these kids suffered. It's just a matter of like proactively thinking of where we can possibly do this and not having any other faith suffer or anything like that. We don't want any of that kind of, negative stuff. So, if there's anything that we could help with, I'm willing to help with that. Again, remember that the excused absence is not an absence. Like, we're not looking at the kids that are just on the cuff and, now it's an excused absence. We're talking about where these children have, projects due, field trips, exams going on, finals going on. And so they shouldn't have to feel that way, that they have to compromise this for that they can't celebrate an important holiday with their family for that. And lastly, when we're looking at culturally accepting and religiously accepting everyone, this is a part of it. So with the growing community, their identity is associated with it. So let's just keep that in mind, and so that the respect will be better among all of us if we all respect what is important to us, right?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Was there anyone else wishing to comment on items on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'll ask for.
I think there's someone.
Oh, sorry, didn't see. Come on up.
Nicole Ward, 20 Oak Lane.
Okay.
So I am here to talk about cell phones, so I wasn't sure if that was officially on the agenda.
We're actually going to have that discussion. It's on the agenda.
You did mention the
Not
survey.
in the consent resolution, not in the resolutions. It's,
part, right?
yeah, for the
It's
old
in-
business, it's under old,
It's on the agenda.
that counts as on the agenda? Okay, we'll do some cell phones now. You're welcome to talk about cell phones at the end, too.
Thank you. First of all, I appreciate you all being here and respect your role on the board. As educators and parents, we are here to work together to enhance our children's learning and help them become competent, contributing members of society. I'm here to ask for a bell-to-bell no cell phone policy in all of our schools. There is significant research proving that the use of cell phones, iPads, video games, and online platforms have interfered with our children's social and neurological development. Sleep deprivation, attention fragmentation, addiction, loneliness, social comparison, and withdrawal are just a few of the negative effects that have been seen in children and adolescents since the mid-2010s. The rise in mental health issues is directly correlated to the widespread use of cell phones and addictive social platforms, online gaming, and easily accessible pornography. Banning phones or having a phone-free class policy will not yield the same results as a bell-to-bell policy. Smartphones and their addictive apps are so powerful that the majority of teens are online almost constantly. Montville Township Public Schools have outlined 4 main goals for the 25-26 school year. Goal number 2, verbatim, reads, "The district will promote a healthy and balanced school environment by fostering student well-being, strengthening school climate, and using data-informed policies and practices that support engagement and mental health." In order to foster well-being, strengthen school climate, increase engagement, and improve mental health, we need a bell-to-bell no cell phone policy. Merely banning phones during class time leads students to hide phones, and despite the policy's intention, leaves teachers to fight for students' attention. Many teachers do not have the patience or energy to be the phone police in class amongst all of their other roles. It is not fair to our teachers that they have to compete for students' attention, and it is not fair to our children that we are allowing them to be void of the human connection that can and should blossom amongst classmates. A partial ban, where students have to put phones in class bin or a door pouch system in each classroom, but allowing phones to remain in use during lunch, free periods, hallway transitions, is fighting a losing battle. The partial ban system actually leads to students using their phones more after class, which makes it harder to form friendships with their peers. Another point to be made here is about cyberbullying, the camera and video capabilities of phones. Free periods, study periods, lunch, and hallway transitions are where those kids who want to use their phones as weapons will do so. Eliminating the phones will eliminate much of the bullying problem found in our schools today. In our modern world, there is no escaping technology. We use it to gather information, conduct research, create music and art, and connect with distant relatives and friends. I believe it is the job of our schools to integrate technology into the classroom, and we know that we are doing that well. I do not believe that technology should be used as a way to pacify our youth, to eliminate boredom, or as a coping mechanism. Only a bell-to-bell policy will push our children to develop coping mechanisms for awkward social situations. Throughout the school day, students are confronted with a spectrum of feelings and emotions. They will be nervous, feel proud, get irritated, experience jealousy, and hopefully be joyful. They need to be fully present to experience a full range of human emotions and learn how to deal and cope when these emotions are not pleasant. Sticking your nose in a screen and scrolling is an avoidance tactic that limits human potential. I know that many parents are concerned about the safety of their children while they are at school. Lockdowns due to harmful threats are a real issue, and I am not going to downplay the seriousness of those situations. What law enforcement will tell us, though, is that in the case of a real threat, kids having cell phones that are making noise and distracting them from following instructions will do more harm than good.
Okay. I'm sorry. We do have a 5-minute.
Yep.
Okay. Are you about done?
Yep, just about done. So I trust that this board, when they put in a cell phone policy, will be able to make accommodations for emergency situations and children with health issues as well. Okay. To conclude, I will state Montville Township Public Schools' first goal as listed on their website. The district will foster a dynamic learning environment that promotes creativity, innovation, and differentiation through rigorous real-world instruction and ongoing exploration of new opportunities to support all students in reaching their highest potential.
Okay.
Students' personal phones are loaded with apps designed to grab the attention of young people, pinging them with notifications, calling them out of the real world and into their virtual world. If we want to accomplish the main goals of Montville, of fostering student well-being and promotive creativity and innovation, the only option is a bell-to-bell, no phone policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. And again, I would remind our speakers, we do have a 5-minute limitation on speaking. So if you can.
I timed myself before.
You timed yourself.
3 minutes, 30 seconds.
You did. Okay, we'll see how good you did on that timing. Okay.
But good evening and hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Muriello. I also would like to address the phone policy in the high school. I'm at 121 Hook Mountain Road. I am a mother of 2 in our district, a 6th grader and a senior. I'm also a licensed psychotherapist. I've spent many years educating our local communities about the impact of screen culture and social media on youth mental health. I care a lot about this topic. And I really want to express my strong support for an initiative to move toward a bell-to-bell phone-free policy at the high school. Right now, the elementary schools and middle schools have a great, clear, wonderful policy, no phones at any time. And my hope is that by the time my daughter, who's in 6th grade now, is in our high school, that they will have a bell-to-bell phone-free policy. And for those kids, it will be seamless because they never will have had it before. So that, would be really exciting. I sometimes give a visual. If my generation, when we were high schoolers, brought our technology to school, it would have looked something like this. My cordless phone strapped around my torso, my television strapped to my back, my cable box dangling from my belt, my Nintendo gaming system around my legs. And essentially, that's what we're doing when we let our high schoolers bring their phones to school, because they're not just a phone. It's YouTube, Netflix, Fortnite, Instagram, TikTok, endless scrolling of addictive short-form content right at their fingertips all the time. We know that it's a distraction to their academic learning and also interferes with their social development. for me, as a psychotherapist that has worked with many families, one of the things that I find most concerning is in moments of distress, instead of our students figuring out how to cope or going to a teacher or a trusted friend or a school counselor, they're often quickly texting their parents. And as well-intended parents, we naturally swoop in to help. But when we do that, we actually rob our kids of these vital opportunities where they can problem solve, self-advocate, cope, and get through hard moments on their own. And that's actually the life skill that they need to develop when they're in high school, when they're in this safe environment with all these wonderful faculty members that we have around. So I want to very quickly just point out to you a brand new book by Jean Twenge. She's the leading researcher in this field. This book just came out a few weeks ago. It's called 10 Rules for Raising Kids in a High-Tech World. And Rule 10 is no phones during the school day. And she cites the goals being more focus in the classroom, more face-to-face time socializing at lunch, learning how to live without constant presence of a phone, and less fighting and drama. And the research is really great in this book. I recommend it if the board is going to continue researching the policy and considering the research here. So the way I look at it is that it's not about taking something away from our kids, it's really about giving them a gift, and it's that gift to fully engage in the learning and to connect with each other and to grow into the young adults that we want them to be. So thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing about the process that the district will engage in. I'd love to be a voice, a parent liaison, a voice in the community, however I can help. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, and you were timed well.
Was it 3 minutes, 30 seconds?
I think it was actually about 3:40.
Okay.
Okay. Hi.
I'm Tina Salmanowitz, 1 High Mountain Drive. I'm a parent of 2 girls at William Mason, and I'm here tonight because I'm concerned about the impact of smartphones and social media on our kids. As a parent, I've made the decision to delay giving my children smartphones, so I'm here to show my support for a bell-to-bell, phone-free school policy to help protect our children's mental health and development. Like many parents, I've seen how technology and constant access to phones are changing us, not just our kids, but us as adults too. I've noticed how easy it is, even for my husband and me, to get pulled into our screens and disconnected from the people right in front of us. It's affected our own relationships. That realization pushed us to create phone-free times in our home for ourselves. If we as adults struggle to manage screen time, how can we expect our kids to do it well? This hit home for me on a recent family vacation. We were floating in the lazy river, enjoying our time, laughing together, and I look over and I see 3 teenage boys floating in their tubes, each completely glued to their phones. They weren't talking, they weren't looking around. They were physically there, but they were disconnected from the world around them. And sadly, I saw this again and again on the same trip. It was heartbreaking, and this isn't what childhood should look like. Experiences like this are what motivated me to take the Wait Until 8th pledge to delay giving my own children smartphones and access to social media so they have time to develop real-world social skills, focus, creativity, and the ability to be present without the constant pull of a device. Books like The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt highlight the youth mental health crisis and its link to early smartphone and social media use, citing dozens of studies from around the world that show the same trend. Earlier access to smartphones is linked with worse mental health outcomes for kids. I know this may not be an easy decision. Phones are convenient. They help parents feel connected to their kids during the day, but our children need us to make those hard decisions to protect their well-being, even if those choices are inconvenient and unpopular. So that's why I'm asking you tonight to please support a bell-to-bell, phone-free school policy. Give our kids the space to focus on learning, to build face-to-face friendships, and to develop healthy habits that will serve them for life. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much. There's
Good evening.
Yeah, it's on.
My name is Douglas Salmanowitz, also at 1 High Mountain Drive. I am both a Montville parent and an educator at the and middle school team leader in Ramsey, New Jersey, which some of us are very familiar with. Our school district is currently in the 2nd year of having implemented a district-wide cell phone-free policy, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight about this policy that could potentially be implemented here in Montville. I hope to share with you what I believe to be like significant positive impact that the policy has made so far on the Ramsey School community, which never mind. If I weren't in a middle school today, I don't think I'd be able to get the full picture of just how addicted children can be to their phones. Before the policy was adopted, we in the district observed like several growing and concerning behaviors. Although smartphones were technically not allowed in the classroom in the elementary and middle school, students often appeared disengaged during lessons, frequently sneaking looks at phones hidden in their pockets. There were noticeable increases in students requesting to leave the classroom, often to go to lockers or bathrooms with the clear intention of checking their phones. Additionally, during middle school recess, participation in free play activities on the playground appeared to be in decline, as many students preferred to remain or near their devices even though they were not supposed to have them. Alongside these behaviors, the guidance department experienced an influx of social media-related disagreements and hurt feelings, which created additional challenges in supporting students' emotional well-being. It was the commonly held belief among my colleagues that these issues collectively impacted both the academic focus and the overall social climate among the students. Prior to the 2024-25 school year, the Ramsey Board of Ed implemented a cell phone-free policy where students were allowed to have their smartphones with them while traveling to and from school, but must power them down and lock them away during the school day. To help with the increased hold of the smartphone addiction that it has on our older students, the district acquired magnetically sealed pouches for students attending the high school. Upon entering campus, high school students placed their smartphones in the pouch, having it sealed and reopened once they were to leave. This system helps to ensure that phones are securely stored and out of sight during the school day. To help a policy like this work, an agreement was put into place that any student caught using a smartphone during school hours must attend a mandatory meeting with the building administrator alongside their parent or guardian, at which point the cell phone would then be returned to the parent. This approach ensures that families are engaged in supporting the expectations around the phone use and helps to reinforce the importance of staying focused during learning time while giving the added benefit of being a deterrent to students. Whether it's a concern for their child's safety or simply the lack of convenience, some parents were obviously concerned about the impact of not having a cell phone. To respond to the "what if I need to contact my child" or parent argument, it was determined that students who needed to contact a parent or guardian for an appropriate reason could do so through more traditional methods, such as a landline with permission or emailing from their one-to-one device. Likewise, parents who felt the need to get a message to their child were asked to contact the main office or email the teacher directly, ensuring that communication remains open and effective without disrupting learning. This approach was implemented, and the world didn't end. Importantly, the cell phone policy also prevents situations like a past high school lockdown false alarm, where unchecked phone use caused unnecessary panic within the district and misinformation to reach outside of the high school and into the minds and mouths of students in the middle school and parents as well. Though admittedly this is still in its infancy, since implementing this policy we have observed a remarkable drop in phone usage during school hours, fewer requests for students to leave class, and a noticeable decline in harassment, intimidation, and bullying incidents and investigations. Specifically, HIB investigations in the middle school decreased from 33 in 2023-24 to 9 in 2024-25, while district-wide investigations dropped from 79 to 21 in the same period. Chronic absenteeism at the middle school also improved, decreasing from 12.5% in 23-24 to 8.4% in 24-25. Beyond these measurable outcomes, the phone-free environment has fostered stronger student-to-student and student-to-teacher interactions, improved attention and engagement in lessons, and contributed to a calmer, more respectful school atmosphere.
Okay, hi. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you to finish up right now.
I will
We have to
finish
move
up.
on.
Yep.
Thank you.
Though we've only collected like the initial data, we're optimistic and eager to see if these positive numbers continue into trends. Overall, the policy has helped create a more focused learning environment that supports both academic success and social emotional well-being.
I'm sorry.
I greatly encourage you to consider these benefits as Montville evaluates the possibility of adopting a similar phone-free approach.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
very
your
much. Okay. I would ask speakers, sorry not to point you out, but yeah, to try to adhere to our 5-minute limit, please. Thank you. Hi.
Okay, good evening. My name is Nicole McDonough. I live at 18 Oklahoma Ave here in Montville. I'm a mom of 4. I have a son in 7th grade. I have a son in 5th grade at William Mason, and I have 2 little ones who are in preschool and not quite yet preschool. I'm here to talk about the cell phone use policy. This is something that really resonates with me because very recently I learned that New Jersey, the state of New Jersey, is one of a handful of states that does not have a statewide cell phone policy as it relates to schools. Last year in 6th grade at back to school night, my son's social studies teacher informed me that he recently came down from the high school, and he said what a breath of fresh air it was to be in middle school, because in middle school they're not allowed to have cell phones in the classroom. And that was sort of my first experience or my first entree into exactly how much impact the use of cell phones is having on our children during the school day. I've taken for granted that at William Mason and in all of our elementary schools, no one brings a cell phone to class. Same at Lazar. My son knows bell to bell. I mean, we really held out on getting a cell phone. He was one of a few who did not get one at 5th grade graduation, and I was the worst mom in the world. But there's a reason for it. There's a reason why people like Jonathan Haidt are writing books and talking about the anxious generation. And it's because cell phones are not just disrupting our children's learning, but they're disrupting their ability to socialize with their classmates. It's disrupting their ability to focus, to really focus on what's before them. Right now, if I got a notification and I took out my phone and said, oh, hold on a sec, my mom just texted me, you'd all be like, oh, that's so rude. And I would too, because it is. And not only do our teachers deserve the respect and the focus from the students themselves deserve the respect, the attention, the socialization from each other. And it's incumbent upon us as the adults to think about which policy is really going to benefit them. And when you think about all of the reasons and the what ifs that folks give for what if there's an emergency? What if there's a lockdown? What if there's, God forbid, something serious going on at school? I want to be able to get in touch with my child. It doesn't relate to calming the child, because you, the Board of Education, allocate resources to train our teachers and ensure that they are able to calm the students in the classroom, to ensure that they know how to properly instruct them what to do. And I have to believe that you're hoping that those third parties, like me, a mom who's at home or at work, that I'm not pinging my kids on their cell phone, distracting them from their focus on their teacher who's instructing them what to do in an emergency. It's detrimental to the students. It's detrimental to the teachers, not just in the learning environment, but in the environment where, God forbid, there really is an emergency. I posted on Montville Moms recently an anecdote. I'm an attorney. When I go to court in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York, I have to give them my cell phone. And the reason I have to give it to them, I walk in, I give it to the security guards, they give me a little number, and I get it back at the end of my time after appearing in court. It's because they believe that that judge before whom I'm appearing and those litigants are deserving of my 100% full attention. And I believe that our teachers are deserving of the 100% full attention of the students. And that my son is deserving of the 100% full attention of his classmates. Recognizing, of course, we're all distracted by something. We all wander off. But cell phones should not be the reason that a student's mind is wandering. It should not be a ping from a third party who's not even in that school that's interrupting our students' learning. And so I would implore the Board of Education to seriously consider, I'm glad you're having this committee, but seriously consider a bell-to-bell no cell phone use policy, because no other policy supports our students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on the agenda?
Now? Good?
Yeah,
Okay. I'm here to talk about the exact same topic. Rob Cicerelli at 13 McClay Road in Montville. I just have a few notes, and they're on my cell phone, so the irony is not lost on me on this very topic. But I want to say I agree with everyone who came up here to talk about this same topic. I'm 38 years old. I've lived in Montville for 30 of those years. I grew up here. I went from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. I've never been to a board meeting, and I've never spoken at a board meeting, but this topic is important enough to come and talk about it. There absolutely should be a bell-to-bell, no cell phone policy in schools. The cost benefit is just, it's not even close when you compare the two. The two arguments I see in favor of actually having cell phones in school is the safety one, which I think the parents up here already addressed pretty well. But you're talking about a school shooting. The chances of that happening, you look at the numbers, it's about 1 in 1.5 million chance of that happening to your kid. Okay. The chance of having anxiety and all sorts of other mental issues, 1 in 4 for kids who are heavy users of cell phones. So when you look at the numbers, it's not really close. And then the other is, sorry, I had my notes and now they're gone. But the safety, and then there's also, I had it and now let me find it. Sorry. This is what happens when I'm not prepared. They did much better than I did. See, I was only going to do it for a few minutes and now I'm taking up more time. Risks, sorry. Sorry, had it and now it's gone. That's okay. The safety issue is just not, it just doesn't make any sense when you look at the numbers. And so getting kids prepared for the real world, that was the other one. So I've seen so many kids that are just graduating that meet me at conferences that I go to, and they can't give simple eye contact. They can't have a basic conversation or small talk with you. Like, those are the skills that you develop at lunch, at study hall. Those are all being robbed when they're allowed to be on their cell phone. And so being on your cell phone or on technology throughout the day is not preparing kids for the real world. Having human interaction, looking people in the eye and having a conversation with them, like, that is where you learn a lot of skills in school beyond just the what you're learning in the classrooms. And so I think these things are just robbing our kids of those experiences. And I actually saw, like, you guys did a great presentation on all the different programs that are coming up in school, and this is robbing our kids of those experiences. And so I implore you guys to obviously have a bell-to-bell cell phone, no cell phone policy. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Was there anyone else wishing to speak on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. I ask for a consent resolution for items I through N. A motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. A second? Can I get a second?
Second, Dave.
Thank you. Okay, we're off the cell phones, folks. Okay, any questions on Section J? And this includes the calendar. So why don't we have...
I would like to talk about Section J, the calendar.
Okay, that's why I stopped. What would you like to say, Mike?
Okay. So I'm looking at the calendar, and I understand the conflicting things here that you don't want to start too early, don't want to end too late. I think we're trying to do a little compromise here, but I think we've kind of split the baby without really accomplishing enough of either. I see that, like, the high school graduations moved up to Tuesday, June 15th. Now, to me, there's really no significant difference between a Tuesday the 15th and Thursday the 17th. But by the same token, we have the school year starting on the 27th of August. And I'm just saying, why can't we do one of two things? Either push the high school graduation back to Thursday the 17th, then at the beginning of the year, take the school days on the 27th and 28th, the Thursday and Friday, move them up to Monday, Tuesday the next week, so we're not losing that whole week vacation. The 25th and 26th can slide into the 27, 28 spot, and those 3 days on 19, 20, 21 can go to 24, 25, 26, so the teachers don't lose that week of vacation of August 17th. Or in the alternative, push everything back 3 days. We get rid of the 24th, so the 19th, 2021 becomes 17, 18, 19. 25, 26 becomes 2021, starting on the 24th instead of the 27th, but you're getting out of school then at least on June 10th. The way we're doing it right now, I think we're not really accomplishing either goal of either ending early or starting later.
Okay. Do you want to talk about yo-yo?
So the points you're making, Mike, the committee did look into that. I mean, you could move the calendar all the way back to starting on the 24th or so and ending on June 10th. That's up to the board. School, for a lot of the athletes, for a lot of the band, for a lot of the people that are coming back to school, are the first football game and stuff is on the 27th. There's a lot of activities going on around there, the 26th, 27th. So the thinking is staying consistent from year to year. So you don't want the yo-yo effect in the sense of, if you start next year's calendar on the 31st, then 2 years from now, you'd have to go back to the 25th, 26th. And then it's such inconsistency. So the thinking is to try to stay as consistent as possible, saying that the district is always going to start on the 25th, 26th, 27th, something like that, and end around the 14th, 15th, or 16th going forward, so everybody can plan accordingly. So that was the thinking of the committee.
Okay. I mean, that takes care of the going one way, but I'm saying the other way. If you're going to start on Wednesday the 19th, what are you really accomplishing by giving anyone the 17th and the 18th off?
Yeah,
if you're going to start Wednesday, you might as well start Monday.
The 19th, 20th, and 21 is for the new teacher orientation, so that affects a smaller amount of teachers, but that is by contract. They have to come in. And then the 25th and 26th are the 2 days of the teachers for all of them. Your points are well taken, and the board will have to decide.
I'll jump in because I tend to agree with Mike on this issue. I don't think starting on a Thursday and a Friday makes as much sense as just either pushing it forward and starting on a Monday or pushing it back and starting on a Monday. And I understand your argument, Tom, and the administration about a yo-yo, but to me, what's more consistent, starting on the 27th every year or starting one Monday before Labor Day every year? To me, that makes more sense when people are planning their schedules and their calendars. Starting on the same day of the week is more consistent than starting on the same date.
Good points. Yeah. I would probably agree. I would go to the 24th, but I think the calendar is pretty good for right now. Do other people have
I
questions?
agree. I think the calendar, we worked on trying to accommodate all the different different discussions on the dates, and we agree that the one that we came up with was the best one going forward.
Okay. Michelle, you want to jump in on this? You are the chair of the curriculum committee, and you were the one that led the discussion on the calendar.
Well, yeah, I mean, the committee was supportive of the administration who presented the concept of starting always on around the 27th. And that was the consistency that the administration felt would serve us going forward. So the committee supported that. I don't know if the board wants to have a broader discussion about, the holidays, things that were brought here, but the discussion of and I'd be willing to say if we wanted to have that, we could talk about that, going forward. But the committees, from what was presented to us, supported the administration. Like I said, it really was two things: the consistency of starting around the same time every year, so everyone got used to around the 26th or 27th, and then the overall feeling of starting early really was supported by the data of schools are doing this more and more, and it serves our kids well from an academic perspective, more time to prepare for specifically the AP exams. And our kids, we know that our kids have not gotten through the full AP curriculum starting when we have, and more of the country and the state is starting at this time. So that was really the thinking. But like I said, there's two ways, and I could hear there's two ways to think about it. Consistency starting always on that Monday before Labor Day or starting on the 26th or 27th. I just, it seems like we're just unsettled, honestly, about the calendar right now because it's a whole big change to the way we've been, and also the idea of these extra days and the holidays. And I don't know, honestly, if we're ever going to be 100% 90% settled. There's a lot of things. So we could take it back again and have more discussions. We could have a vote and see how people feel. We could pass this calendar or vote on this calendar and then have extended discussions about some of the other points that are brought up for future years.
Yeah,
So
I would tend to think that probably voting on this calendar and then having discussions in the future
Yeah.
would be better. I'm sorry,
We-
but Christine, you want to
Thanks,
say
Dave. No, we worked on this for a long time. And the administration gave us different starting dates, different ending dates. And I think all of us on the committee all were together as far as when to start listening to the administration, what's best for the kids, including the athletes, and as well as the end, including all the students that are doing all the studying for the tests and so forth. So I feel very comfortable with this calendar as is. And I would hope that the board members would trust us because we did speak about this prior. People gave different opinions, and the committee worked hard on it. I know the administration worked hard on it. They had a bulletin board for us. And so I just hope that everyone trusts us. We trust the administration. So I think we should just vote on it this evening.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to have the conversation, and whether or not it's, on this specific calendar going forward, because, making, students choose between a top religious holiday and, attending field trips is not something that, I think we should ignore. And so I really think that conversation has to happen, whether or not it's about this calendar or going forward. So I think that we have to just figure out where we want to place that conversation.
Okay. Were there other comments from board members? Okay, I think then we'll move on. We can, yeah, so we'll just move on to the next section. Section K, Facilities and Finance. Any questions?
I have an addendum that we're going to add to this.
I'll see.
This addendum is a bit regarding the Hilldale construction project. And this addendum gives the business administrator and myself the power to, if we have to find another contractor, working with Bondex, since A Plus is no longer with us, working on the Hilldale project. If we have to find another another company before the next board meeting, this addendum is giving us the power to hire that company, and then the board would approve it at the next board meeting. So that will be K13 added to the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on Section L, Personnel?
Yes, I have one change. L7, number 6, and that will now read, Ethan Mersings, he has a degree change. He's going from a BA to a Master's plus 30, and the new salary is $71,410.
Okay. Questions on curriculum, Section M? Okay, we have a number of curriculum up for approval. Section N, Policy.
Yeah, with regard to the noisemakers, 8870, I strongly support the initiative. The only thing I would do, I'd make it a little stronger. Instead of saying that we prohibit noisemakers at school ceremonies and events, I would add on school grounds, period.
Yes, it's first reading.
Yeah.
Okay,
Typically, amendments would come between the first reading and the second reading, not at the first reading.
Okay, but if we don't talk about it, then there wouldn't be any knowledge just to amend it.
No reason not to talk about it.
Right.
But I wouldn't amend it at this point.
No, we can't. I would say okay. I would like it to be a prohibition, a blanket prohibition on school grounds, not just at ceremonies and events.
Okay. So a point of clarification, an amendment would come at the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
But you want to just walk them through, like, they have to motion it, or they have to?
They have to
people talk
motion
about
it.
Or something like that, right?
you have to motion an amendment, right?
The way this works is there's a first reading of every policy. Then at the second reading, which is actually a hearing on the policy, The public will comment on the policy. The board can make changes and then finally approve it.
Okay.
So that it would come through either changes by the policy committee before it comes to the board at second reading, or motions to amend at the second reading.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Okay. I would also point out that there's a Zoom, a board member participation in using electronic devices. I also would have questions for that for the next time as well. Okay. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Mrs. Fano?
Yes, but I need to abstain on the executive session minutes.
Dr. Cordolino?
Yes.
Mr. Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Petrosino? Mr. Petrosino? Sorry.
Yes to everything but the calendar. No on the calendar.
No on
Mr. Rappaport?
Abstain, section I. Yes to everything else.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Zuckerman?
Abstain on K4, item R, and yes.
Dr. Modrak?
Joe?
No, I did show already.
Okay.
He gave the
Yes,
motion.
I would go yes. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to open it up for old business. This was where we were going to actually talk a little bit about cell phones. You want to fill us in on?
Well, yeah, I made the
what's
comments in
going
the
on?
I made the comments in the opening statement that the high school has formed a committee made up of teachers, students, parents, and administrators. They're working on that. The survey will be going out to the community in a couple of weeks. They'll be working on that as well. And again, they're going to be reporting out in January or December on their results.
And just so board members know, the policy committee will receive that questionnaire before it goes out.
Correct.
And we can share that with the full board, see if you guys have any questions about the survey before it goes out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then we'll send it out. Okay, any other old business?
Dave, I just want to say I went to the 9/11 ceremony and I saw
Actually,
Dr.
new business,
Gorman.
but we can
I'm
do
so
new business
sorry.
now. No, go ahead. New business, general board comments.
Anyway, it is just such a beautiful ceremony. It was so wonderful to see the Lazar students there. And Dr. Gorman, what is the teacher's name again?
Mr. Crescente.
He was all in all red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
And they were invited, the students, never before, to do a procession. And they shook the hands of everyone in the front. It was really lovely. And if there was ever an opportunity for other students to come and participate and watch, it's really special.
Okay. And we'll continue with general board comments. Anyone else for general board comments? There we go.
I just want to make a comment with the calendar moving forward as is. I do agree that children should not have to choose between celebrating their holidays or missing some large event in school, which to kids can have very different meaning than it would to adults. So I do think teachers and administration should be aware of any holidays that children may need to be excused from and make sure that these large events are not planned on those days.
Yeah. I was actually also going to say the very same thing. But yeah, I think it would be incumbent upon the administration to make sure that those dates are judiciously planned and, fully conscious of other people's lives.
But if I can just say in response to that, though, and just keep this much in mind, that we are doing a constant balancing act between available time and holidays. I mean, it would be wonderful to give everybody every holiday they wanted, but at some point, you have to say, we've only got a finite amount of time. When something comes in, something else has to come out. Yeah. We can't, or else we're going to be having school from the beginning of August to the end of June.
Well, I think for the subsequent year, the following year, I think those are the discussions to have later this year. I guess in the spring, we'll start having those discussions about the following year, and we should keep those in mind.
I would ask too that, just real quick, if the board, we voted to accept this calendar as stated, if we could at least acknowledge the day on the calendar so that the entire district is aware of the day. Just because it's not a given a day off, we can put it on the calendar.
Okay, well, we have spoken about the calendar, I think, enough. Are there any other topics that people want?
Dave,
Yeah.
I think we're going to discuss the next board meeting, October 7th.
Okay, what would you like to discuss about it?
We're discussing whether or not we're going to cancel because several of us are
Why?
not going to be here for the county association meeting that night.
The county association meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Why, can you explain to me why that's important? I know it's a county association meeting.
We have
but-
2 meetings in October.
We-
So the second one, we'll still have a meeting in October, Dave, and it's good to have all people participating on all boards of education throughout the county attend these meetings. So I think it's,
You're welcome to attend.
I know,
Why-
and I'm saying is I think that board members should be allowed to go
Why,
to it.
okay, since he's pointing over here, why do board members want to attend this meeting?
I'll speak for myself. I find those county meetings extremely valuable. I learn more sometimes than any of the training that I did when I served as a board. I learn about the challenges from other boards of education in our county. We hear from administration. We hear all the positive things happening, things that make us better board members. And I am planning on going to that meeting as well.
How often do you attend those board meetings?
I probably go 5-6 times a year.
Really? You get there
Yeah.
5, 6? Wow.
Yeah,
that's
I do
good.
virtual. So
Oh,
it's much, yeah.
That's
So,
4 of them a year, or-
well, whenever it is, I'm there. So, and I enjoy it.
Okay, and I thought we also aren't we hosting that meeting?
We're
In-
hosting
No,
it in
no.
December.
In December, we're hosting it.
Yeah.
That one I could definitely see us, is it on the same day?
No, it is not
It
conflict.
does not conflict? Okay.
May I?
Yes, you may.
As someone who has attended many county and state meetings, I've had opportunity to run up against conflict. And I make that decision for myself. I don't expect my fellow board members to cancel a meeting because I have a conflict with a conference. We could break early that night, being held in Boonton. So if we had a quick public meeting, we could just drive over to Boonton and jump on the tail end of that meeting. I certainly agree with Christine. I think the county meetings are valuable, but for the most part, if given a choice, I'm going to be at the meeting I was elected to be at. And oftentimes, programming is repeated in multiple counties, so if you don't catch it at our Morris County meeting, you may catch it online, virtually, at, let's say, Passaic, or you can watch one in Cape May County if you like. We do have a meeting coming up in December that I surely hope every board member attends, since we're hosting it, December 2nd. And then there's a variety of meetings throughout the year. We have one February 4th, March 5th, May 6th. So I actually am speaking. I'm supposed to give remarks at the October 7th meeting as the immediate past president, as well as a representative for the LFNJ. And I've notified them that I won't be there because I have a board meeting that night. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Yes. How often do these conflicts come up between our meetings and those meetings?
I haven't heard of these.
I don't
this
think
before.
I don't ever remembering it. I know this month we have 2 meetings, but we normally, for October, but we normally have one.
In my 8 years on the board, it's the first one that's been on a board meeting because they're usually on Wednesdays, and so this one's on a Tuesday. But I have a conflict when it's on a Wednesday with a personal work obligation, so that's why I cannot usually go to them. But it's the first one in my 8 years that's been the same day as a board meeting. I could tell you that.
How many board members are interested in going to this other meeting? Just out of curiosity, just straw poll.
Well,
4.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
tend to think that, we were elected to be here, and I think this is our responsibility to be here. I'm sorry about that, but that's just how I feel too. I think we were elected by the residents of this town to take on this responsibility. That's our duty.
Dave,
right?
but
Not-
we also have to keep educating ourselves about what's going on in the community. And, I don't know how to respond to you because I don't think how you're responding is appropriate.
Please, help out.
Thanks.
Sure. Thank you.
The fact that the meeting's on the calendar just means it's on the calendar. The board has the right to move or cancel any meeting it wants. So it sounds to me like this discussion could go on forever. So if somebody wants to cancel the meeting, somebody should make a motion to cancel the meeting, and the board can vote on it.
Steve, I'll say this real quick before I make that motion. We ran these meetings once a month for a while, and Karen just made the suggestion to shorten the meeting. Why not just pack the agenda for the 21st? It would save our administration, who works hard enough, a whole night of events.
Because there are bills to pay, there are things to get
Well,
accomplished.
if we could accommodate these things, then I'd invite the administration, if there's going to be difficulty, to speak up on those matters. But if not, hearing nobody, I would make a motion to cancel the meeting on
Is
October
there a
7th.
second?
I'll second.
Okay. We need a roll call vote on this.
Discussion?
Okay, well, no, we've already had discussion. If anyone has any other discussion, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Okay. My discussion just being that maybe if it's the matter of just having bills to pay and stuff like that, maybe we could just leave the meeting on, have a very light agenda.
That's not the motion. The motion right now is to cancel the meeting entirely, so a roll call vote on that, please.
Mr. Daughtry?
Yes.
Dr. Cordolino?
No.
Mrs. Fano?
Yes.
Mr. Palma?
No.
Mr. Rappaport?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Abstain.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ms. Zuckerman? No. Dr. Modrak?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So it's even.
So the motion does not pass.
Our motion fails.
Yeah. Okay. Any other general board comments or new business from the board? No? You have something?
If they're going to have a meeting, we're going to attend.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Okay. I would just like to make one quick announcement or a reminder to folks. We are now after Labor Day. It's now the political season. Okay, I would remind our candidates up here and out there, as well as their supporters and the Democratic and Republican parties here in town, in the county, and the state, that Board of Ed elections are nonpartisan. Okay, and they're nonpartisan for a reason, because politics just do not mix with education. Education should not be guided by politics. So that's why we're nonpartisan elections. That's why this is a nonpartisan board. So I would just ask that everyone involved in the election season this year respect that. So, you don't campaign. So our Board of Ed candidates should not be campaigning with other people, political candidates from parties. Be careful where you have your literature distributed and where it associates with. Be careful where your lawn signs are placed. They should not be placed with other political candidates, and just be cognizant of the fact that we are a nonpartisan board up here. Okay, that's all I had.
Just adding that, perhaps to that meeting in October, out of courtesy for the people who want to go to the other meeting, maybe we can just have an agreement among us that we're going to try to make it a light agenda, so the people who
That's
are
maybe
missing.
a discussion for outside the meeting. But thank you. Okay, have a good night, public participation, one more time. Okay, we have discussed cell phones, though, so I would appreciate it not talking about. And the calendar. Are you talking about the calendar? Okay. Well, we've already had our discussion about. We've already had the discussion with the cell phones and the calendar. So anything that has not been discussed previously. What? No, I'm sorry. It's cell phones. And that's also about the calendar. Thank you. I know.
So then when we have a follow-up answer to some of the things that came up, then how do we address that?
Maybe after the meeting, you come talk to us. We like to hang out and talk to people. So, okay. And this would be about. Okay, your name, address, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes.
My name is this working?
I don't think so.
My name's Donna Polk. I live at 5 Sherrill Road. And thank you for listening to my concerns regarding the Czar Bus 15. My husband and I have a son who attended Hilldale Elementary for K through 5 from 2019 to 2025, where we walked to school. I'm the one who walked to school every single day and picked him up. Very rarely did we drive. Now that he's in 6th grade, he's attending Lazar, and he has the opportunity to take the bus. We signed him up. He was very excited. Day 1 of school, even with all the confusions of computer busing schedule times, we were excited. How was the school day? How was the bus? Noisy. On day 2 of school, before leaving Lazar at dismissal, the school safety officer had to get on the bus and tell the children, in particular, 3 girls, to stop being disruptive, reiterating proper bus behavior. The noise continued, yelling, and the Montville police had to be called to investigate a threat of shooting up the bus. You better not come on the bus tomorrow, which turned out to be deemed a non-credible threat. Dr. Gorman sent us a letter that was timed on my email after school had already been dismissed. This happened to be the day after the Minneapolis shooting incident. Many parents expressed concern about the safety of Lazar Bus 15 with disruptive, threatening children. Concerned parents wrote letters to Dr. Gorman. His email was blown up, maybe that's a bad word, but inundated with concerned parents sending letters. We received another letter from Dr. Gorman that school policy is being followed. Multiple visits from the vice principals and even the manager of O'Dowd Bus Company regarding disruptive behavior from 3 children. The bus driver had to pull over on a ride home from school because she felt she could not operate the bus in a safe manner with the behavior of these children. More letters were written. The response from the school board was, get the names of the children. Montville police had to have been called by the children on the bus at the bus driver's direction due to threatening behavior of a family member trying to board the bus on September 11th. Another visit from vice principals. More letters from concerned parents about bus safety. Lastly, we now have a camera outfitted on board Lazar Bus 15. The children have assigned seats, alphabetical, where my son cannot sit with his friends, punishing him from when he did nothing wrong. A chaperone is on the bus in the morning and in the afternoon. And the Montville police officer was at the disruptive children's bus stop on the afternoon of 9/11 and 9/12. I would just like to reiterate, according to the Montville Township Public Schools School Code of Conduct, requires students to behave appropriately for their development and maturity with proper regard for the welfare of others. Bus safety rules, loud talking will not be tolerated. 3 children have not been behaving appropriately with the regard to welfare of others, and loud talking is being tolerated on the bus. These 3 children have not been removed from the bus, and no consequences have been given to them. My child has consequences, and he has abided by all the rules of proper bus safety. What more do we finally need to have these children removed? I just want safety for my child. That is all I'm asking for. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Okay. No.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay. Hi, my name's Adam Hulsberg. I live at 54 Gathering Road in Pine Brook. I'm here to discuss the class sizes in kindergarten for Hilldale. Right now, there's 2 classes. One, my son's class, 24 kids. The other class, 23 kids. My son's class, even beyond that, including him, there's 16 boys. So I don't wish on anyone 16 5-year-old boys. That's just a mess. It's just creating a very unproductive learning environment for these kids. It's, kindergarten is supposed to create the foundation for their learning, and what we're essentially hearing or being told is that small group instructions are not going to be really productive. It's going to be hard to do because of so many children in the classroom. There's limited movement. These kids need a lot of attention. There's only so much supervision in the classrooms based on these sizes. I know that the first grade class, there's 2 classes, about 13 kids each. Second grade is there's 3 classrooms, about 18 kids each. So when we're looking at the youngest kids, the ones who need the most attention, they have the largest class size currently. I know the district policy is once the enrollment hits 47, it's supposed to be 3 classrooms as long as it's by 8-1. I'm assuming the 47th kid came after 8-1. But there is an empty classroom in Hilldale that is ready to be used for a kindergarten class, if that's possible. We're just really looking for a better learning environment for the kids, for my son especially, advocating for him. And I heard earlier there's savings of $250,000, so you got some room there for another teacher. But it's really just looking for a better learning environment. I heard Woodmont, same thing. They have 47 kids, but they have 3 classrooms, 15, 16, 17. So I really just want to make sure my son's in the same environment. I know the con against it is that it can be disruptive. The kids started, now you're moving them to a new classroom potentially. I think the pros outweigh the cons here. I think in the long run, it'd be much better for them to be in a smaller classroom, which is just much more productive for learning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anybody else wishing to speak on another topic? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public session.
So just
Dr.
to address the bus 15, you are correct with what you were saying regarding the measures that we took. So we follow a progressive disciplinary measure. So whenever a student gets in trouble or does something, we take progressive steps according to our code of conduct, and that's with all the different schools. And the punishments or counseling are always age appropriate. So the principals and administrators of the different buildings have a lot of experience with this, and they do a fine job moving forward with that. And if something doesn't work, then we go to the next level with counseling and or disciplinary measures. So we do have an adult on the bus. We do have assigned seating, and we do have cameras on that bus. And so far, for the past 4 days or so, we haven't had any problems. So those measures are working. And as things move forward, then we will be able to ease the restrictions on that bus as we move forward. This is for the safety of all students on the bus, and if any student on the bus misbehaves or does something that's inappropriate, that person will be disciplined, as I said in that letter. So we are concerned about the safety of all students moving forward. Regarding the kindergarten situation, we talked about this 3 years ago, and we have 2 developments in town have been built, Moderna and Avalon Bay. We have a third one that's now Doremustown Estates up here for Cedar Hill. And the fourth one will be going online in a couple of years, but it hasn't been built yet. The demographers' numbers are pretty close to being spot on with the predictions. And we told, the community that we are having enrollment issues, and the town is growing. That's wonderful because so many people are attracted to this town in part because of the school systems, but it is putting strain on some of this, the rooms and everything else. We went out for a referendum. The town voted it down. So right now, we currently do not have any additional space to add on classrooms. So we will be talking about the enrollment and the budget throughout this whole year to further inform the public about what's going on with this whole town. As for that specific issue, you are correct. The policy is 23 kids in kindergarten, and these kids moved in the past week or the end of August into the September, so the class size did grow. So we are adding it, I think it was on this agenda tonight, to add an aide in the classroom, so there will be an aide in that classroom for full time. But we are at this point, it's too late to be splitting the class and moving the kids around right now. So we are concerned about this as we move forward, and we'll be continuing to watch this. But this will be, I don't mean any pun here, a growing problem as we move forward, and we'll be addressing these as we can with the resources that we have. So we'll be speaking with Mrs. Snaros on this. Died out. All right. I'll be speaking with Mrs. Snaros on this. She's constantly watching this, and we'll continue to monitor the situation as we go throughout the school year. Thank you.
To adjourn? Okay. See y'all next meeting.